everyone, and thank you for joining us on High Review. Let's have a look at what made headlines this week. Suspected separatist attack leaves one dead, another injured, and 4 cars burned. The incident on Monday, 29th January 2024, occurred at Butingi, Boya subdivision of the Southwest region. It is said to be a move by fighters to reinforce their instituted ghost towns. Plus, accused of sexual assault on several women and men, Cameroonian businessman Evid Bobdar has been arrested. High Review today brings to you the circumstances leading to his apprehension. And Cameroonians across the nation are commemorating the Bilingualism Week to promote the 2 official languages, English and French, in the country. How bilingual are Cameroonians? We zoom in as the news unfolds. Thanks for choosing High Television to be informed. I am Cynthia Latu. As you heard a while ago, earlier this week, 1 person died and another was injured in an attack suspected to been carried out by separatists. The incident also led to the burning of 4 cars. The attackers said in a viral video that it was a move to warn against the failure to respect ghost towns instituted in the 2 English-speaking regions of the country. Details in the upcoming report compiled by Larry Kelvin Tengening.
Boya and some parts of the Southwest region that have had relatively calmness for the past months now had a change of affairs last Monday, 29 January 2024, as alleged separatist fighters opened fire in the area as they went on rampage. The incident that took place some few minutes after 9 p.m. when many were watching the football encounter between Senegal and Ivory Coast in the ongoing African Cup of Nations.
I want to tell you that yesterday, 5 minutes before the match Senegal-Côte d'Ivoire, I received a call that they're shooting in Moleko, so I bashed into my car from Boassa, driving to Moleko. I can say I was the first to arrive at the scene. And I realized they have burned down, about 4 or 5 cars, and when I shouted that, Amber, where are you? And some people now, I told them that if there's somebody who is not Amber here, come out, this is Moja. So one driver came out from the border and told me that Moja, thanks for coming. And then the other guy is hospitalized now, was shouting, Moja, please, so I'm here, and I removed him, he has 3 bullets. And then some other people who were drinking, I came and removed them out of the zone.
The macabre incident that left 1 dead and 4 cars burned by the set assailants, as they say they want the locals to respect the traditional ghost town phenomenon.
They start shooting. Heavy gunfire, machine gun. Down with a touch house, the house will come down all. And the manhole up and down they operate. The one man there for me here, they holler. So any man will show head, any man will look, any man will come out. We kill it. As they burn all the motor on middle road. From up there, about 3 days up, about 3 days down here. The one man there for Johnson, they're about 7. As they burn the motor on middle road. They ask this man to come down. It's small boy for the one. It refused. As they put fire, motor they burn, the petrol, they drag it down, they fall for behind, they blood out for the under tire.
These acts that have been condemned by many, as the locals have been encouraged to collaborate with the forces of law and order in order to avoid such repetition of such acts.
The military came. I want to also appreciate the military. We tried our best. So the information I want to pass is that the military, just like Moja, we are not magicians. We beg the local population to collaborate with us. I, for one, my number is 691-798185. You call them, we assist you. We are sorry for the loss, and we tell the Ambas that you have no peace. You have no peace. We are going to haunt you because we stand for one and indivisible Cameroon. What a shame for you to be killing your own people.
With the corpse of the deceased that have been deposited in one of the mortuaries in Boya, as many in the town could be seen going on with their daily activities this Tuesday, 30th January 2024.
Still in the country's English-speaking regions of Cameroon, the village of AY in the Batibo subdivision of the Northwest region has been burnt down. Some villages have been looted and harmed. The attack is said to have been carried out by separatist fighters who accused the villagers of colluding with the forces of law and order in the area. Larry Vengetengening once more report.
Separatist fighters in the Northwest region waged havoc in AY village of Batibo subdivision in Momo division as the separatist fighters loot and burn the royal palace and other structures in the village.
Yes, it started on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, breaking Sunday. So some armed men entered the village and burned down the palace because it started that the general of Ambazonia called Efa, alias Big Number, so he was captured by the military and some of his men was killed, and the group turned out to accuse the villagers, the village of EY in Batibo subdivision. They accused the villager that they are complicity with the military, of which most of the villagers know nothing about it.
Their oppressor, who has imposed a shutdown in the said village, as one of the survivors recounts on witnessing food shortages and shortage of basic commodities as people can no longer go in or come out of the said village.
They kidnapped 23 members of the Elek family or the EY family and carried them to the bush. So with cry, they released them and asked them not to go out from the village. So they surrounded all the village, and later on they are threatening to kill all the quarterheads there. So now those people, they cannot go out, they cannot go in, and there's a acute shortage of food, drinking water. So the situation is very terrible there in EY village in Batibo subdivision.
The day's havoc in the village comes after a local separatist leader in the said area known as EFA was captured by the Cameroonian Defense Forces, and the said separatists are accusing the villagers of AY of being in collusion with the security forces of Cameroon.
EY village to try to protect them and let the international community see what is happening there in EY village. It's a gross human rights violation. All the palaces have been burned down, and the palace is the symbol of unity of EY people. So I want to use this opportunity that the EY people, they are not part of what is going on in the Northwest and Southwest. They just want to live their life quietly, but some people have hijacked them and forced them to enter into a conflict which they did not want. So we are appealing to the international community to take a particular note and assist those people for this terrible situation that is going on.
The said separatist leader, who was captured by the defense elements after several atrocities that he caused in the village, was taken to a disclosed environment from his hospital bed, receiving treatment in Bamenda. The poor villagers who are caught in between the devil and the deep blue sea are calling on the defense and security forces to come to their rescue.
Let's now talk about the environment. Last year, Cameroon, alongside other countries, witnessed a series of floods and landslides, yet others are forecast in the upcoming years. Jabi Katie, in the report that comes up next, speaks with some environmentalists on ways to better strategize.
The deadly countdown in 2023 began with the blow of 18 March in Boya town, when torrential floods killed about 2 persons, injuring many with lots of properties destroyed. Other disasters have been witnessed, such as the series of floods in Limbe and Douala, plus the recent Bankolo landslide, which killed about 30 persons. Environmental experts have described these to be natural occurrences coupled with human contributions, with climate change being one of the major factors.
When disasters occur, we don't talk about natural disasters anymore because we have a human factor in it. We realize that as years pass, we have developmental improvements, we have population increase, we have increase in the construction of houses, and even people building closer to mapped areas which are risky. That's mapped risk zones, which have been prohibited for people or individuals not to construct in those areas.
Environmental experts also say many more lives could be lost, many more properties could be destroyed if necessary mitigation strategies are not employed.
Know that we are responsible first for our safety before the state or other actors are coming to play. So it is very important for us to keep measures or to respect, for example, building codes which have been put in place to protect man, that is us, and our properties. And also, we should learn to follow the news to know the latest updates, like for weather forecast, what we need to do, because one thing which we are failing is in the early warning system. Sometimes we do not even believe in those systems, neither is it even in place. Now, going to the side of the government, it is very important that the disaster risk management department be created, even right up to the local
As of now, construction of waterways and proper drainage systems plus demolitions of infrastructures are in the agenda of some municipalities, as reviewed in the town hall meeting of the Buea Town Council, which held recently.
Cameroon joined the world yesterday to commemorate the World Wetland Day. The day that comes up every February 2 was under the theme Wetland and Human Beings. Asitala Salisi Kamelik here.
In order to raise global awareness about the vital role of wetlands for people and planet, annually, February 2 has been set aside to celebrate World Wetlands Day. This day also marks the date of the adoption of the Convention of Wetlands Day on February 2, 1971. This year's celebration will focus on the theme of wetlands and human well-being. The theme recognizes wetlands as critical to people and nature, underscoring the intrinsic value of wetland ecosystem and their benefits and services, including contribution to sustainable development and human well-being.
Wetlands is a means of helping a community much. This planting can put some more improvements to make the land sustain the earth, and the animal will also have a place. There's some animal that they like to live in this forest. They will hit themselves there for at least it is what we use for feeding. It can feed us.
Wetlands are responsible for flood control, water purification, and water regulation.
In the commemoration of the World Wetland Day, which is the theme for this year, is wetlands and human well-being. We say no to mangrove deforestation. I broken down for small grammar. Deforestation, say more than not cut mangrove again, because say mangrove get plenty things they do for me. We say yes to mangrove afforestation. So say me when I plant them, as soon as I don't do una nursery for years, so for start do replanting, it be very good, because when una go plant them, una go say and say go give una more fish than for inside water. As well, most of una very depend on the fish we dey for water. We say yes to clean water. When the mangrove dey, water dey clean. So the benefit for the wetland, na say wetin. First one, get number one for your get tourism and fun. Some person go just sit down, decide go just go turn for inside water. He get pleasure. Tourism, why man fit come for here only for say they can see some mangrove reserve wey dey for time for kange. Now it will give una income for the community.
This planting of mangrove will help our area much because this is where the fish lay their eggs. They lay their eggs before they hatch their eggs from here before they go to the high sea. Mangroves, it helps also for prevent erosion.
Wetlands are disappearing 3 times faster than the forests.
Environmentalist Luis Kumbi now tells us more about wetland in the following exclusive interview he granted to High Television.
We are glad that we will be celebrating alongside other conservation actors in Cameroon and across the World Wetlands Day that is slated for 2nd of February of each year. The World Wetlands Day is designed to raise global awareness about the importance of wetlands to our ecosystems in which we live and how wetlands could help sustain development, not only locally but globally. And to put it in perspective, wetlands help, for instance, as the source where fishes reproduce. Wetlands where you have mangroves, like the ones we find along the Tiko Douala, the Tiko Limbe, right down to the Bakassi area. The source of livelihood, as we see that a lot of wood, mangrove wood is being exploited. In fact, people live in those islands and communities essentially live on mangrove wood. They are essential fishers, and fishes take that mangrove habitat as their home. They reproduce, and definitely mangroves are very important in trying to fight climate change because the water coming from the ocean is being repulsed with the help of the mangrove forests we find around there. So in essence, if mangroves are not available, we will imagine that the coastal communities are all going to disappear. If mangroves are not available, the amount of fish that is being caught and to serve national territory, the quantity is significantly going to be reduced. So wetlands go beyond, in a way, go beyond the mangroves and the coastal areas into the hinterlands, where we also have areas like inland lakes, watersheds. All these are constituents of wetlands, and they're very important in terms of overall sustaining human development. So we're here today and on every 2nd of February to raise this awareness, to find real concrete measures to protect these wetlands. Ranging from raising many of these areas into protected areas and or locally conserved areas like mangrove community forest. We see a number of them being proposed in the Bakassi area. We have the Mabeta Forest Reserve, which has been given down to the councils, and they need protection, they need management support. And many more areas where no local people feel these mangroves and other areas attached to are very useful. Mangroves are also a system which we find very special species of biodiversity wildlife, aquatic wildlife. We can think about the otter, we can think about the special fishes, the whales, the sharks, the rays, that are very rare now, they're critically endangered, and they need to be protected. So all in all, while the wetlands serve as an important source of economic development, they're also important in terms of buffering climate change. And it is our desire to help alongside other actors to make sure that from local communities to governmental level, they are aware that we need to protect these areas.
The trend is changing. Baby diapers are now more solicited by nursing mothers than napkins. What accounts for this? Let's find out with Daniel Ikome.
Within the market of diapers and napkins, the use of both by nursing mothers are sometimes influenced by prices, as a dealer in the business explained.
100 for everybody. Yes, even a bicycle rider or a truck pusher can afford the diapers, because 100 francs will go for your diapers.
The market for the napkins is very slow, while for the diapers is very fast, because using the diapers is so expensive more than the napkins.
Despite their preferences, they are also being purchased as a result of the different brands the company produced. Given their affordable prices, some nursing mothers in Buea go in for diapers because, according to them, it is easier and disposable.
They have made it cheaper today. Even with 100 francs, you can buy diaper as compared to napkin. But their duration, napkin stays longer than diaper.
While others prefer diapers, some think napkin is the best option.
I prefer using napkin because I don't have money that I will be buying diapers every day. But with the napkin, I use it as there are many. When I use the other one, I can wash and reuse it again.
I use diapers in the afternoon when I want to go out. I use diapers when I'm in the house, and then I use napkin. A napkin is economical because when I use the napkin, I don't throw them, I wash them and dry them. But diapers is very expensive.
However, opinion still holds that diapers are more preferable as compared to napkins, where sometimes you may have to wash, wait until it gets dry before using it on the baby.
Away from that, we take on one of our lead stories. Accused of sexual assault, Cameroonian businessman Hervé Pobdar has been arrested. The 45-year-old was apprehended in Douala after a series of complaints against him denouncing his inhuman acts against boys and girls. Rita Mafani reports.
Abusive sexual behavior by one person upon another are some of the common cases recorded in most human rights centers and in police files. Unfortunately, most of the times, this act is being perpetrated on children and has damaging impacts. This can have psychological, emotional, and physical effects on a survivor. It is important to note that this act is not only perpetrated on children, but also on adults. Girls, women, and men are all victims of sexual abuse. This falls in line with the recent post trending on social media about the arrest of Pobdar, the HIV infector. According to many testimonies given by hundreds of persons on social media, Pobdar has been raping both men and women, infecting them with HIV. However, these are all claims that need to be investigated. That notwithstanding, sexual violence and abuse impact the life and well-being of victims and survivors in different ways, such as physical health, mental and emotional health, behaviors, and social life. In this light, justice should always be maintained in such cases, damages repaired for the lives of the survivors and victims can never be the same again.
The chairperson of the Southwest Follow-up Committee for the execution of the public investment budget has frowned at the uncompleted projects allowed in 2023. This was during the second semester meeting that unfolded over the week. Alice Kamelik here details the story.
In evaluating contracts awarded in the 2023 public investment budget in the Southwest region, the Southwest Regional Participatory Follow-up Committee meeting on the execution of public investment budget has taken place in Buea, chaired by the chairperson of the Public Investment Budget Follow-up Committee Southwest Region, Honorable Malumba Esembe, in the presence of the representative of the Southwest Governor, Bembe Vanessa.
Before the next meeting that we are going to be assembled here, as God will permit, you will get results from that.
The global total as of December 21, 2023 stands at 11,923,569,000 CFA francs.
Technically, the meeting was to review the entire year 2023, and we note first of all that the level of execution, if you combine financial and physical, puts us at about 83%. Yes, this is not too satisfactory because it doesn't get us to the bar we had set of 100%, but we've taken time to review the situation. There are a few areas, like in Manu, where apparently for security reasons we had a noticeable decrease in the rates of execution. A few councils which we indexed, like the Kumba City Council and the councils in Tinto and Guti, have been a problem to our drive towards a 100% execution. Some departments too, like that of public works, when it comes to contracts relating to roads, we've looked at the situation and, put them to task.
The chairperson frowned at uncompleted projects and discarded repeated excuses.
Rainfall should cease to be a justification for works not being carried out. We have resolved to engage the powers that be for these institutions, these councils, which are causing the lagging behind to sit up. And you can be sure that on our part as a follow-up committee, we will not relent, as in the past, to take every action which is necessary to ensure that for 2023, which we have reviewed, for the time we still have, we complete these projects, and that for 2024, which we are engaging, we get to 100% by the close of the current fiscal year.
Some recommendations were arrived at, like beckoning on the treasury sector for timely payments, and that leaders of beneficiary communities should be part of their planning meetings.
Away from that, the Southwest Governor Bernato Kaliabalai has charged the new Senior Divisional Officer for Manu to guard against the smuggling of weapons from Nigeria to Cameroon. He was speaking during the installation ceremony of the SDO. Larry Kelvin Itengening has the details.
Internal and external elites of Manu Division and beyond all came to be part of the installation ceremony of the new Senior Divisional Officer for Manu, Awomfak Alionio Yves Bertrand.
I am quite conscious of this responsibility bestowed on me by the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, and I will count very much on the collaboration of all the populations of Manu Division, all the living and vital forces, in order to meet with all these responsibilities that we have.
The commissioning act that took place at the Mafi Ceremonial Grandstand was being presided over by the Southwest Governor Bernato Kaliabalai, who reminded the civil administrators whose main objective is to bring back peace and prosperity of Manu Division.
Discussion of peace in this part of our republic, and protection of the borders, yes, and equally to work tirelessly to bring back prosperity to this part of our national territory.
To some Manu natives who turn out for the ceremony insist they will throw their support behind the incoming SDO.
Telling the new Senior Divisional Officer that we are ready to collaborate with him because he cannot do this all alone. So we are calling upon our populations to collaborate with the administrative officials so that we have the long-lasting and everlasting peace that is needed for the development of the Manu Division.
The division that has had her fair share of the Anglophone crisis is expected to change a narrative, as the locals say it is time for them to forge ahead, despite the odds when it comes to the socio-political impasse.
What we pray is that the NGO party also accommodate the population.
to open the doors for the population to come closer here. And just like the governor has given him specific instructions that being the SGO is a public office that is meant to serve both the young and the old.
The 55-year-old SDO, who was serving in the said capacity in the Vina division of the Adamawa region, takes over from Yang Mekala, who has been transferred to Fako in the said capacity. Eve Bertrand Awomfak Aliunu is married to one wife and a father to children.
Still in the Manu division, 5 principal police inspectors, constables and 19 inspectors have been awarded epaulets for their hard work. The event was presided over by the first assistant senior divisional officer who sat in for the divisional officer. Alice Kamelikir report.
Just as in other parts of the country, the epaulets ceremony has also taken place in Manu division. The second edition was presided over by the first assistant senior divisional officer for Manu, representing the senior divisional officer of the division. He called on the police officers to uphold discipline as they do their work. The ceremony that took place at the Mamfe Municipality Grandstand left the awardees expressed their gratitudes.
Reaching this level, we have been waiting for long. Respect from our country.
Today we are very grateful. All the policemen here in the Mamfe, they are grateful. You know, it's the second time that the head of state decided to organize the award of epaulet here in Manu institution. And like we know, it's cheaper because at the former time it was very difficult to travel, to go in another town to take the epaulet. Now we make all in our town, all in our division. So we are very happy.
God that He has taken us this far to this other level.
5 principal inspectors, 3 senior police constables, and 19 inspectors were awarded in Mamfe.
This is her review, a rundown of the week's news-making events on High Television. As Cameroon celebrates the Bilingualism Week, some Cameroonians of English-speaking regions are resolute to learn the French language, though the challenge of Cameroonians expressing themselves in both languages remains, as you hear in the following report. Every first Friday of February of each year, bilingualism is celebrated in Cameroon. The day promotes the use of the 2 official languages, English and French, in the country. In Buea, the capital of the English-speaking Southwest region, Suzanne has understood the need to speak the 2 languages and is leaving no stone unturned.
Bilingualism is just like an act of, or a will to understand, speak both French and English, even to write. Me, I socialize with like francophones, be able to know their language, speak with them, interact with them, in order for them to also teach me the language, so that I can also teach them the English I know, in order for us to be bilingual.
The beauty of the 2 languages to her is treasurable. Having had a certain mastery of the English language, Suzanne's challenge is the French language. Articulating some sentences already is a big step forward.
Quelle belle journée.
Since the adoption of the two languages in 1961 and government's creation of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism in 2017, many Cameroonians, however, continue to face difficulties in speaking both languages fluently. Over the past years, a week has been reserved in the country each year to observe the day. The 19th edition this year is celebrated under the theme Bilingualism, Vector of Digitalization of Education and the Promotion of Civic and Moral Values for a Peaceful and Emergent Cameroon. Let's now listen to the relevance of bilingualism commemoration in Cameroon in the following excerpt of an interview conducted with a member of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, George Ngwane.
Thank you, first of all, Heidi, for inviting me to shed some light on the Bilingualism Week, which I must confess started about 2003, and it was more under the auspices of the Ministry of Basic Education and then Secondary Education. Then it was just the Ministry of National Education. And the idea was actually to get especially the education sector to be very, very equipped in terms of bilingualism practice. So it has matured over the years, and I think this year the theme is on bilingualism as a vector of digitalization, civic education for a peaceful and emerging Cameroon. I must confess sometimes that those themes are too long, but when I look at the one for this year, I can tell you that it's actually it's on bilingualism and citizenship. So yes, it was launched since Monday, like you know, and I think most schools are doing that bilingualism day, which is today, and the various campuses, I think, throughout the Cameroon. And we also want to commend, as a member of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, we want to commend the efforts that the Ministry of Education, whether it's basic or secondary, what they have been doing, because that complements what the National Commission for Bilingualism stands for, which is that we're looking at a citizen-centered bilingualism, something that will help enhance not just the theory, but also the practice of bilingualism among Cameroonians. You know, the quarrel that we had before the commission was created in 2017 was that first, the Constitution is Article 1, Sub 3, had also mentioned that English and French were official languages with equal value. They had the same equal pedestal in terms of its service delivery. But we didn't have an institution to make sure that that is really regulated to the point where it can be respected by citizens. So the coming of the Commission in 2017 has helped to enhance not just the idea that bilingualism, the two languages which are official languages, English and French, are of the same value, but that it is incumbent on every Cameroonian to understand that English and French can be used indiscriminately by users. Now, because before the Commission, we realized that people will actually not consider, especially when you came to speaking English language. I'll take it, for example, in Yaoundé. You find that users were frustrated because their language of preference, which could have been English, whether in the Francophone area, or maybe French in the Anglophone area, was not considered by the persons that you were coming to ask for service, right? And so it has been incumbent to most service providers that English language or French language are of equal status and could be used indiscriminately. Now, this is the theory. Now, what we're really asking is, how far have we gone to ensure that this theory is actually put into practice? Luckily, the Bilingualism Commission has been able to visit a couple of ministries. Since 2017, we have visited ministries about 3 times. We've gone down to the regions. We've gone down to the private sector. And we remember the visit we had in Douala, which had to do with the economic sector. So we have tried as much as possible to touch at every sector of society and be able to do what we now call the sensitization phase. How far have we gone with that? How far have the recipients been able to implement what we have been talking about? I must say we are having a mixed baggage of that. It's a matter of mixed fortune. There are some service providers that have understood the message and are trying as much as possible to put it into practice. And there are a few that are reluctant that they're reticent for reasons that I wouldn't be able to mention, and that has been a challenge in how effective bilingualism is. Because I will tell you, I live most of the time in the Southwest region, and I have reports coming from people who are stakeholders whose documents still come to them in French. I've had that even from local mayors, local actors on the field. So that is frustrating for us to understand that even the two Anglophone regions, where English language is actually more of a working language, where English language is more of a predominant language, it is important for those who are sending documents to these two regions especially to understand that fact that the language should be English first, and of course French, because we are talking about bilingualism. So yeah, we've got cases where we are completely ill at ease with the fact that they are not still having this theory when we are around and sensitizing into full practice. This brings us to another level that most language commissions use. That is the phase of enforcement. Enforcement means that you can use two ways. One, you can use incentives to make sure that people who are doing the best practices of bilingualism are compensated. They are given what the Canadians call the bilingualism bonus. The second thing you could do as an enforcement phase is the phase of sanctions. Now, sanctions could be subtle or could be hard. The Commission does not have the powers to sanction, it does not have the powers of enforcement, because it is basically a body that is advisory. It is a body that is only consultative. And therefore it makes its report and sends to the President of the Republic for action to take it. The time that the Commission probably will be given the subtle powers to be able to enforce the practice of bilingualism, I'm sure it will step up the ability of people and the capacity of people to understand that these two languages must be implemented in every sector of society.
Some youths in the Southwest region have been encouraged to engage in entrepreneurship and politics. This was during a one-day workshop that concluded in Buea yesterday. It was organized by the Cameroon National Youth Council of the Southwest Chapter. Larry Kelvin-Etengening reports.
The Southwest Bureau of the Cameroon National Youth Council is having a one-day capacity training workshop with members of the Executive Bureau.
Our key goal is to equip ourselves with knowledge on leadership, management, on entrepreneurship, and in youth participation in politics, and also to carry out the message of the Public Independent Conciliator, which we heard already the presentation being made.
With the focus of the day being youth to get involved in the decision process of the country, which is something that is preoccupying the mind of the regional president.
To keep ourselves reminded on civil responsibility and moral rearmament. This is a message which we know will accompany us to carry on with the theme of the National Youth Day for this 58th edition, which is youth import substitution for economic development and patriotism. This particular theme entails a lot. Push responsibilities to the youth to become entrepreneurs.
With the participants drawn from the 36 subdivisions and 6 divisions that constitute the Southwest region, is one that coincided with the celebrations of the Youth Day.
Message remains a key message that should go to every youth in the region, and that's why you see we invited all the 31 subdivisional presidents in this workshop and the 6 divisional presidents to make sure that the message is disseminated to every quarter of our region. Thank you very much.
With a key role to implement government substitution policy, entrepreneurship and others, the Southwest Bureau of the CNUC is strong in ensuring that youth in this part of Cameroon are solid. The seminar was equally attended by officials from the Southwest Office of the Public Independent Conciliator, who drilled the youth on the necessary skills that they need to take.
After assessing Cameroon's progress in the African Free Trade Continental Area, the Nkafu Policy Institute has organized an operational workshop with a think tank to propose better recommendations on how to enable the smooth implementation of the Africa Free Trade Continental Area.
Having the potential to create the world's largest free trade area, the African Continental Free Trade Area aims to boost the economies of African countries following a recent panel discussion on Cameroon's progress on the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Nkafu Policy Institute organizes operational working group discussion aimed at paving the way for a successful implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area in Yaoundé on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, with the African Continental Free Trade Area project being one of the largest programs projected to reduce trade barriers and create markets for goods and services. There is the need for better follow-up of the project.
It's a key actor within the 54 countries that have ratified the instrument of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Cameroon is up to task. Cameroon have tea. Like as of now, we have 3 certificates of origin that have been issued to the Cameroon Tea Estate, to the Ndawara Tea Estate, to JIC International. So those are already ways in which Cameroon is participating within the agreement. Cameroon is fit. What we need now is effective implementation and more of the. Let's talk more of the strategy. Taking into consideration the national development strategy.
The operational working group that saw exchange of suitable recommendations from the various participants, Cameroon, that is amongst the 8 countries to start this particular project implementation, will benefit from intra-African trade, fostering economic integration.
Imported cosmetic products, we've exported tea. These are products that falls within the first list of 96 products that we earmarked for the Private Trade Initiative. So we are looking forward to countries like Nigeria, which are joining, countries like South Africa, which are joining, with which we already have trade relationship. And what we are looking at now to do is to move existing trade into the preferential trade regime, so that countries that are importing from Cameroon can feel the benefits, because we have trading relationships with other countries in the continent, but they are trading under the most favored nation, which is putting the cost of trade higher. So we want to move them into the EFTA channel, where the cost of trading is lower because duties are already being reduced.
The African Continental Free Trade Area, which was enforced in January 2021, has marked a decisive turning point, especially for countries like Cameroon, who has already started exporting her goods and services to countries like Chad.
One of the biggest wood markets in the Far North region has been visited by wild flames. The fire incident was contained by the elements of the firefighting brigades in the area with the help of the population. HiTV's Far North correspondent Mubarak Yawuba reports.
Marwa Komis Market, one of the biggest commercial avenue of wood selling in Marwa town, have been a victim of fire accident. According to the fire brigade commander, Jawian Jorwe Patrick, it was at about 4 p.m. in the night of Sunday, breaking Monday, that the sad accident occurred. Although the causes of this accident is not yet officially made known, accusing fingers are pointed on the electricity short circuit which have led to the sudden. Consequently, 4 wood shops have been totally consumed, including wood machine processors entirely damaged. Thanks to the professionalism of fire soldiers, the situation have been neutralized after a long fighting operations of about 2 hours. An investigation have been urgently opened to better handle the situation of such fire accident in the Marwa Komis Market.
The Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Liongar, has reassured the education and sporting community that the city of Limbe in the southwest region is ready to host the 2024 FENASCO League A games. She gave the assurance after an evaluation tour of the various sites that will host over 2,000 athletes and other infrastructures that will host the different games. Accompanied by the Southwest Governor and other officials in the region, the secondary education bus visited the Limbe Centenary Stadium, the Middle Farm Stadium, and the Limbe Omnisport Stadium, as well as other schools that will serve as accommodation center. Let's now follow the interview of Professor Nalova Lionga.
Great recommendation. FACO is ready for us. You know, everybody knows, I don't have to tell them, because I think that the head of state has done his job of providing the stadia for us, and we are coming to use them because we don't want these facilities to be there not used. So we are going to use them. Everything is ready. As you can see, we've been with the administrators of FACO, and we have gone through to see everything. We know what we can add, and we think that the place will be good. But there is one thing that I want to say, and I'm going to say it here to the youths of FACO. I'm telling them that they should not allow people to try to frighten the people of FACO by allowing people to come and shoot guns here at night. We do.
It is here that we draw the curtains on our review today. I've been Cynthia Latter. Many thanks for watching. Until we meet again next Saturday, God willing, to have a blessed day in the company of programs on High Television.